next up, I'd like to introduce Katrien. Katrien, please come here. Please welcome Katrien. Katrien has grown up in different countries in Africa, born in Belgium, born in Germany. Her mother is Belgian, her father is from the UK. So we're asking her, Katrien, tell us about yourself and how has this experience actually shaped you, growing up in different parts of the world? Please come here, Katrien.
So I'm going to try and shout, but I'm not really a shouter, but I'm going to do my best, okay? Yes, so having grown up in all these different countries, mostly in Africa, but then I lived in the UK, in Asia, and eventually I ended up in Belgium, kind of by mistake because I had no money and no job. So my mom said, move to Belgium, and at that point I was 23. I had lived in Asia, I had traveled, and I had come to a point where I was very confused about my identity, having lived in these different places. Was I now Belgian, or where did I really come from? I came to a point where a few years ago where I realized it didn't actually really matter, because at the end of the day everybody's a little bit confused about where they really come from. And I decided instead of letting it stop me from being who I am, to take on some projects and to try and do things to inspire other people as well, who might feel in some way confused or in some way, limited by their background, anything like that. So together with a friend of mine, we started up the Umoja fashion show 3 years ago. And the idea was very much to take a lot of different people from our community here in Leuven, wherever they come from, but to have them work on a project together. And by doing so, they override those cultural barriers. You build relationships without culture being an issue.
Okay. May I just interrupt you, please, Katrien? So you've told us you've started this Umoja fashion show because there was a problem in Belgium. There was a problem about the different cultures not mixing, a problem about you yourself feeling a bit confused. So what have you managed to achieve with this Umoja fashion show? Did you bring people together? Did you promote women? We were talking about women empowerment.
Yes.
Like His Excellency said, bringing up the women's voice to be heard. What have you achieved? Have you managed to achieve any of this by this fashion show?
I think, the main thing is that actually it's a very big project. So we have about 60 different people working in one way or another in the show or with the show, or in some way being a partner of the show. Most of them, of course, are women. And in fact, I think pretty much 90% of them are women. And these are women of all different ages. Some are just students, some are people from the community that work, doing all kinds of different things, who, on a day-to-day basis maybe would not interact. But the point is that we work on a project together. The end result is something glamorous and beautiful. It's a fashion show. We want to promote designers. The other idea, actually, which is very much about empowering women, is that our models were all students. And the idea is very much also that, these are normal people. They're not skinny, tall, sort of your glamour magazine models. These are normal people who strut their stuff, whatever their stuff might be, on that catwalk, who feel great about who they are and who are beautiful as they are. And this is very much about the empowerment as well. So it's empowering different people, whoever they might be.
And what type of fashion do you promote? Is it just about African fashion, or is it something which can be worn by everybody around here? I was just looking at African clothes, and all the stereotyping about how Africans dress, or what is it exactly?
Well, our designers are, this year and last year, have always been of African origin, so most of them they're from the diaspora, or they're born here, but in some way they've all been inspired by Africa. So in most cases they would use African material, Kitenge material, but they're the collections that they make are inspired from everywhere. So they might be inspired by Asia, but they're also inspired by the latest fashion in Paris. So it's very much a fusion. What they make is very much a fusion. And yeah, again, it's about empowering these women. It's about, ideally we would like to create a network of young women who are creative, get them to do things together, empower each other. That's very much the idea as well.
Thank you. So if there are any aspiring designers in the room, or aspiring women who would like to get into fashion, what would be your advice?
Well, I would say that it's important to create a network. I think there's a lot of creative people out there, a lot of people with a lot of ambition, and the most important thing is really to support each other. Because if you stand alone, if you compete constantly rather than share the market, ideally you would have a few up-and-coming designers get together, 5 or 6 of them, have a store together, learn from each other about marketing, etc. That's the only way that you can achieve things, is really by sort of cooperating together.
Thank you. So has it helped that you being Belgian, actually being able to organize that? Would this be something somebody from somewhere else could have actually done in Belgium? Or is it you being Belgian helped to accelerate or motivate that or bring these people together? And how can you motivate more people to join this network?
Well, I hope that people that come to the show are in some way inspired, on the one hand by seeing these beautiful things on the catwalk, realizing that there is a lot of creativity out there that needs to be promoted, but on the other hand also inspired by realizing that a lot of different people can actually really work together and can do something as a team together, wherever they come from, whatever their ambitions. In terms of promoting also, I forgot to mention, but our overarching theme of having the Umoja fashion show, of course, is also to break stereotypes about Africa. So together with the Africa Film Festival, like Sema talk show as well, the idea is very much, to break those stereotypes that people in the society around us have about Africa, to show a sexy, glamorous, entrepreneurial, up-and-coming, contemporary Africa that is out there that people don't really seem to realize very often. So that's very much the idea as well, is to break the stereotypes that people have about Africa.
Thank you very much, Katrien. Yes. So, okay, maybe we open a bit to the audience. Does anybody have any question to Katrien?
So I think what you're saying is very interesting. The question that I had is, what you're doing, is it only stretching to what this in Fashion Week, or can you translate this into some of the designs that are coming out that are sold in Belgian shops? So, I mean, part of empowering is not just 1 week and yourself, but can it lead to something in the spirit of entrepreneurship? Then can I find these fashions if I go to Sema, for instance?
Okay, so where can we buy all these lovely clothes, Katrien?
Yes.
Yes, tell us.
Well, one of the reasons why we work with the Africa Film Festival is because they actually help us a lot with promoting those designers. So the Africa Film Festival have a catalog, for example, which is widely distributed in Brussels and here in Leuven. And in there, each designer has a half-page spread. Now, most of the designers, except for 2 or 3 that are very much already standing and already have a big network or an online store or their own store, most of them are, still women who have a full-time job and who are just doing this, on the side, but haven't actually been able to break the market. Which is one of those things that, one of those reasons why they need to start working together, because between them there will be someone who can do the marketing, someone that can do the advertising, etc. And they don't, that needs to be a group effort. But as I said, yes, definitely through the Africa Film Festival we do a lot of promotion. This is the idea, and also because we can't offer them anything besides this promotion when they take part in our show. So we do that. Yeah. That's the start. But yes, but exactly. But for example, also the idea of getting them to start working together a bit more, building up a network. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Katrien. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a hand to Katrien.